Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh, and salam sejahtera. Welcome to the second day of the 5th International Putra Innovative Carnival in Teaching and Learning with the theme Innovative Beyond Limit, Shaping Future-Proof Education. So today we are going to have the third web talk session. Our guest speaker today is Professor Insinyur Dr. Haji Kamarul Arifin Ahmad, the Director of Putra Science Park University Putra, Malaysia. So welcome, Prof. Kamarul. Before proceeding to the guest speaker session, the web talk, I would like to read some of his biography notes. Professor Insinyur Dr. Haji Kamarul earns his bachelor degree from University Science Malaysia in 2001, his Masters of Science in Aerodynamics, Aerospace Dynamics from Cranfield University in 2002, and received his doctorate from Queen's University of Belfast in 2006. He has vast experiences in the aerospace engineering field and has been teaching in the same area for more than 15 years. He taught several engineering related subjects such as engineering design, thermodynamics, and dynamics. He also taught aerospace engineering related subjects, namely Introduction to Aerospace Engineering, Aerodynamics, Gas Dynamics, and Computational Fluid Dynamics. He has teaching experience in different environments such as in Queen's University in Belfast, University Science Malaysia, University Putra Malaysia, and also in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. In the past 15 years, he is also deeply involved in the research work. To date, he has authored or co-authored more than 100 journals and conference proceedings in fluid dynamics, heat transfer, biomedical engineering, and others. These publications include articles in national and international journals, over 100 papers in a Scopus-based index, conference paper, a total of 53 papers, authored 2 books, and edited another 2 books. His current index citations and H index are 716 respectively. He is an editorial board member for several journals, namely Asian Engineering Journal and Aircraft and Spacecraft Journal. He's the evaluator for Malaysian Qualification Agency MQA for Kementerian Sains, Tenaga, Teknologi Alam Sekitar dan Perubahan Iklim, MESTEC. He also has been appointed as the strategic partner for Malaysian Ministry of Rural Development. Currently, he is the Director of Putra Science Park, University Putra, Malaysia. Welcome, Prof. Kamarul. Apa khabar? Sihat? How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm fine, good, thank you.
So on behalf of the organizing committee of i-PicTL2022, we are grateful to have Prof. Kamarul to talk on the intellectual property in education. So without further ado, I would like to call upon Prof. Kamarul to deliver his speech. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, Chairperson, Dr. Muhammad Haizer. Let me try to share slide first. Right, can everyone see?
It's crystal clear.
Okay. So I try to move it. You can see it moving into new slides.
Yes, it is more, Prof.
Okay, right. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and very good evening. Salam keluarga Malaysia. Selamat petang. Ahlan wa sahlan. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Dr. Haizer. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi washabihi ajma'in. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. First and foremost, I would like to thank the organizing committee for inviting me to give the keynote speaker session, and to talk about something that I'm managing right now, which is the intellectual property. The topic is involving the intellectual property in education, but perhaps I will endeavor into the basic or the introduction into the intellectual property first, and then later on I can give example what are the IP that can be protected from the education field or education perspective. Right. The presentation today, okay, I will proceed with first definition of IP. Okay, some of you may aware about what is IP. So I will define what is actually IP, and then why we need IP. Okay, why we need IP, and then type of IP. Okay, and based on this type of IP, there are few laws that govern the management of this IP. This law is actually being gazetted locally, which is Malaysian law. Okay, and then when we cover that, when we have a bit of understanding on the definition of IP, what are the authority, who are the authorities, and what are the law and legislation that are involved in this IP, then we can take a look at the example of IP originated from education cluster, and also I think the one of the important aspect in IP, which is the commercialization of the IP. Okay, that's what we trying to perhaps discuss also in this short period of time. Okay, what is IP? IP stands for intellectual property. Okay, IP stands for intellectual property that refers to inventions. Okay, refers to invention. Okay, this invention or this creation, okay, it can be technical. Okay, it can be technical. It can be inventive, meaning that it has inventive steps that being generated through this invention. Okay, and also it is a work of literary and artistic works. Okay, meaning that it don't have to be very technical product. It can be artistic invention. Okay, and also it refer also to the design and also symbols, names, and images used in commerce. Okay, and this definition is actually from WIPO, which is World Intellectual Property Organization. Okay, so this IP is actually protect the inventor. Okay, the protect the inventor's right on their creation, on their inventions. Okay, I will talk more about that later on. Okay, what is the importance of IP? First and foremost, majority of academics, okay, majority of academics somehow by perhaps by nature they will be involved in research. Okay, by nature they will be involved in research, and after a while, after completed 2 or 3 years or even 5 years of research work, there will be a product. Okay, there will be a product. Either it is a subsystem product or a whole system of a product. Okay, this product. Okay, this product somehow is you can say it is a production of a few years of research work. Okay, and this product, if you don't protect it, okay, because the product usually have a purpose. The purpose is to solve any problems, engineering problem or whatnot. So it has a purpose. So when outside people see the product and they can copy it and they can commercial the product at the open market. So it actually infringe. It's actually still the design of the product or the functionality of the product, and they make money from it. Okay, to steal it is one thing, but to make money from your product, okay, or any academics product. So that is the importance of IP protection, meaning that in order to avoid, okay, in order to overcome that problem, okay, we protect the product or the ideas of the work, so that if other people want to steal and make money from it, they cannot. Okay, steal it is one issue, but to make money from it is another issue. Okay, now that's one thing, to protect the idea, the work, the product of the inventors. Second point is to turn the product, the idea, or the production, the invention into profit-making assets. Why this is important? First and foremost, because you have spent many years in the research to produce that product. You spend time, you spend energy, and the most important thing is you spend money, research grant or investment to do this research work. Okay, somehow or rather, well, of course, this research work will produce a publication and whatnot, but somehow or rather, the investor, okay, which is the paymaster, want to see the return of investment they have contributed. Okay, so instead of only the output of the research is only publication, now you are turning it into an IPs, and this IP is actually a profit-making asset. Okay, it's making money. Why? Because we want to generate economy for the country. Okay, not only the country spend money on you, but you also contribute back by generating money and employing staff, to do the marketing and whatnot. Okay, that second thing. The third, enhance the market value of your business. Okay, in UPM we have a special program, we call it InnoHub program. Okay, InnoHub program is a program where the holder of the IP, okay, the holder of the IP, if they are part of the InnoHub program, is allowed to open up their own company. Okay, but they have to join this program first, and this program is actually will be filtered. Okay, we'll filter to see which IP is we can bring it forward, and what kind of team that needed to bring this product or this IP forward into a real market. Okay, and we also perform market validation as well to check whether this product can really be marketed outside. Okay, so that's the third. The fourth is, if you are holding that IP, okay, or intellectual properties, so you have the exclusive right to use any mark, any whatever trademark or symbol that infringe and embedded in that IP for the inventor. Okay, for other people that want to use it, they can during the protection period, they can, but they have to do some. There are two options: either licensing or they can buy out the whole thing, as the IP can be transferred ownership into them as well, and same as the design as well. So these are the importance of IP protection. okay, to protect the creation, the invention of the inventors. Secondly, to turn these IPs into a profit-making assets. Okay, so these two are very important as universities now evolve. Okay, not only focusing only at the publication output of research, but they also now expand into the IP and profit-making IPs activities. Okay. Now, when you understand what is IP, okay, IP intellectual properties, and the importance of IP. Now, what are the type of IP? Okay, basically, there are 8 types of IP. Okay, there are 8 types. You can say that in the industrial base, okay, industrial base IP, actually we have we have 4. Okay, the industrial base IPs. Okay, first, patents, of course. Okay, patent is one of the most sought by the researchers. Secondly, industrial design. Okay, third, the latest, which is the integrated circuit layout design. Okay, and lastly, the trade secret. Okay, usually the company embark in this trade secret. Okay, because they don't want to release, because it's a secret. They will not release whatever recipe, whatever steps, whatever formulation that they have to the public. Compared to patents. Okay, patents, even though you file patents, okay, but you have to expose everything. Okay, you have to expose everything about the patent during filing, okay, at the patent office. Okay. Well, you may ask, well, now you expose everything. Now everyone knows from outside. Yes, they will know the formulation and whatnot, the technical part, but they cannot copy it because it's already protected. If they copy it, we can sue them. So that's how it works. Okay, that's how patents works. Okay, the same as industrial design, and also the same as integrated circuit layout design. Now we have another one, which is a bit lower level of patent, which is utility invention. We call it UI. Okay. That's it's a bit lower level from patents. Okay. The difference is UI don't need the researchers to expose their inventive steps. Okay. For more detail, I will put, maybe you can private message me later on. Okay. And then for artistic work, okay, artistic work, usually we go for copyright, okay, songs and whatnot, okay, artistic. Symbol usually falls under copyright as well, but depends how novel and how new is that symbol. Trademark, okay, trademark is you can say is something usually when we think something, that name appear. Okay, I will talk about it later on. Okay, and then we have geographical indication. That's also a new type of IP. All this is covered in my IPO. Okay, Malaysian Patent Office, okay, IPO, where my IPO is actually subscribed to WIPO. Okay. So as I mentioned, patents is an exclusive right granted for an invention. Okay, where patents must be new. It must be novel. Okay, it must be novel. Beside that, it must have an inventive steps that the people who are inside that field cannot easily identify that this is common methods. Okay, so let's say you are patenting something, a spanner, for example, but how to manufacture that spanner by using a method that are not familiar by the people in that field. So that is actually worth of patent. Okay, if the method of producing the spanner is familiar by the people within that field, that is actually can be it's not worth to be patented. Okay, because people already know how to make it. Okay, and then as I mentioned before, utility innovations, that is actually a lower level of patents. Okay, because of the inventive steps don't have to be exposed during filing. Okay, and then we have copyright. Okay, as I mentioned before, copyright usually involve artistic. Okay, but nowadays even if you have let's say a training pamphlet, if you upgrade it into a training module, okay, you can also file it as a copyright. Okay, and then the other one is in trademark. As I said, any signs capable of being represented graphically or can distinguish goods or services. Okay, so let's say dulu previously during our time during kids, when we want to drink chocolate, okay, we will just imagine Milo, isn't it? Because Milo is associated with chocolate, but actually chocolate, it can be anything. Chocolate. And now there are many brands that carry chocolate flavor. Okay, but the trademark is being embedded in our mind as even at that level. Okay, so trademark. So trademark is very important, so that when you trademark your let's say your product, when people thinking of having a functional product, a particular functional product, that trademark come into their mind. Okay, I will talk about that. What are trademark that we have here in PSP, Putra Science Park. And then of course we have industrial design, where it is artistic or ornamental aspect of an article. Article can be any product. Okay, it can be any solution to a problem. It can be three-dimensional or it can be two-dimensional. Usually industrial design is actually a drawing. Okay, usually. And then we have integrated circuit layout design. This is more related to the electronic circuit. Okay, because this, when you change some bit tiny component of the circuit, okay, you can file it in the patent office. And there's, for example, one of our researchers in engineering, they just tweak a little bit of transistors. For example, they can file about 10 integrated circuit layout design protection. Okay, so so this is one of the way to protect the innovation in circuit layout design. And lastly, of course, the trade secrets. Okay, this is actually confidential information. Okay, it's actually secrets, and how to file this. Trade secrets usually don't have to be filed in the patent office. Okay, but it has to be stamped, okay, by the they call it the authority of that organization. For example, PSP, if you want to file a trade secrets in your university, make sure that there's an a unit in your university. In UPM is PSP, okay, and we file it for you. Okay, we put the dates and when did you submit to us, and who are the people that actually knows about this formula or recipe. Okay, so that enough, and then we can wrap it and put it in the database room. Okay, and of course geographical indication. This is new part where usually involved in geographical origin. Okay, well, we haven't have this experience before, but the new plant variety, yes, we have. Usually when we want to to file a patent about new microbes, okay, about new microbes or new organism, okay, the researchers need to file the database of the new plant variety first. Okay, when that, of course, the patent office of that university will do that for the researchers. When we completed that, then we can file the protection of patent for that invention. Okay, I have another 13 minutes. Law of IPs. The authority who enforce the law of the IPs in Malaysia is actually MIPO, okay, Intellectual Property Corporation of Malaysia. They not only enforce, they actually manage and also give training to all the patent office of organization, for example, in UPM. And of course, MIPO subscribe to WIPO, where WIPO is actually the Global Forum for Intellectual Properties IP Services, okay, where they are actually self-funded, okay, and they are part of United Nations agency, where 193 member states subscribe to this, okay, meaning that, for example, your patent been filed in Malaysia, but you also want that your invention to be protected in other countries, we can do that as well, okay, but first they need to be filed in the original country first, okay, then there is a period of time so that you have to file. If you your intention to file it in other countries, there is a limit of time so that you can submit it to other countries as well. The rules and regulation, okay, for patent, okay, we are actually enforced under the Patent Act 1983 and Patent Regulation 1986. Okay, so we can download it and we can read it and understand how it works. Okay, and then we have copyright. Okay, Copyright Act in 1987, and then we have Copyright Regulation 2022, the newest one, and then Copyright Voluntary Notification. Okay, this amendment, which is 2022 as well, this year, quite new, and Copyright Order 2022. This is quite new as well. Okay, and then we have trademark, which is we are governed by Trademark Act 2019 and Trademark Regulation 2022. If you look at this regulation, it's quite new for copyright and trademarks. Okay, even industrial design is actually quite old, which is more than 20 years ago compared to copyright and trademarks. Copyright Act is 1987, but the newest amendment and whatnot is 2022, and also the trademark. The ICLD being introduced in 2000, in the year of 2000, and new plant variety is being introduced in 2004, and geographical indication, also a new act that we introduced in the parliament in 2022. Okay, so all these actually are rules and regulation, and those are acts, okay, endorsed by the parliament, and the authority who enforce these rules and regulation is MIPO. Okay, I have another 10 minutes. So example of IPs in education cluster. Okay, the first one is this, the Dadu Gergasi Imbuhan. Okay, this is produced by the one of our researchers in education faculty. Okay, if you see that he filed a copyright. Okay, it's a module of games, module of game for children. Second example is the module of urban agri school. Okay, this module is to educate young kids about the modern agriculture, okay, focusing on urban farming methods. Okay, so they are it's modules, basically modules of learning modules. Okay, so also when it become module, it can be copyrighted. Okay, and these are also from education, e-language exploration. Okay, and this is a set of English language enrichment e-games. Okay, it is actually apps. Okay, shall we apps? The apps is actually called Hunting with E-Language, that to provide an opportunity for the primary school in year 2 and year 3, or 9 years old, to improve their skills in English. Okay, and also we also have experience in filing the Hargo, which is the board game. Okay, it's similar to Monopoly. The design is similar, but the purpose, the format, and the design is different. Okay, so this also can be copyrighted as well. Okay, and then also we have another example, which is Itohan. Okay, this actually not filed as copyright, but filed as a trademark. You can see the symbol here also. Okay, is different. Previously we have LI, but now it's TM, trademark. Okay, and this is for gamification-based mobile application apps. Okay, for teaching and learning in educational field. So those are example of output from education work. Okay, that can be usually from education work. We can, go towards the copyright. Okay, copyright, or if not copyright, then trademark. Okay. So last point that I would like to raise here is the IP that have been successfully commercialized. Okay, because copyright, trademarks, and whatnot will involve some costs. Okay, to file those IPs involves not that big, a small cost compared to patents and utility innovation. Okay, those are different. So usually the patents and utility innovation, we will try 110% to commercialize it, because in order to submit, in order to file that innovation into patent office, it involves quite a significant or substantial cost. But for copyright and trademarks, the cost is much lower. Okay, so the key is we try to commercialize every IPs that we file. Okay, as I said at the very beginning, that we want to make it as a profit-oriented assets. Okay, because we have spent a lot of money in producing, doing the research and producing that product, invention, and then filing the IPs as well. One of the example that we have here in UPM, which is my OBE. Okay, it is patent. Okay, the leading inventor is Datuk Saleh. Okay, and the company that doing the marketing is My Edu. Okay, Make Edu, and this OBE is my OBE have been used in many universities around Malaysia, or even in Saudi Arabia. Okay, and also the kit bijak wang. Okay, by Professor Fazli from FEM. Okay, so this also have been commercialized by Money Genius dan Berhad, okay, in 2015. While the My OBE have been commercialized in 2011. And we also have a grounded learning environment, accelerator for the grounded learning environment by Prof Rahina. Okay, and the company that are marketing it is Grounded Learning Malaysia dan Berhad. And Prof Rahina is actually one of our innohubbers. Okay, meaning that this company is belong to Prof Rahina, and he has the full right to do the marketing activities for this product. Okay, so I think that's wrap up my talk today. So I pass it back to the organizing committee. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prof. Kamarul, for your insightful presentation. I come to understand now there are quite an extensive opportunities for educators, especially in the education field, to sort of patenting, copywriting their prototypes, using the service from Putra Science Park. So we come to the Q&A session. I received quite a number of questions. I suppose if I may read the first inquiry from Dr. Manraj. He was even posted the question before you started the presentation, Prof. How passionate he is to know about this opportunity. So the question is, how would Creative Commons, freeware and shareware or open access would affect IP, the intellectual property?
Okay, very good question actually. Open access, open source, and whatnot. Okay, well, those are not new movement. Okay, we have since Microsoft existed, and Microsoft anyway is a patented product. Okay, since Microsoft exists, there is another movement that have an open source operating system, for example. And this open source operating system is not patented, it's not protected in any way. Okay, but do we see Microsoft scrap their company? No. Okay, because there's a need, there's a requirement, there's a market for that. Okay, yeah, of course, let's say a song, for example, an open source song, for example, and they posted in YouTube by anybody. They can create any song and then they can sing it and then posted it in the YouTube. Is that copyrighted? So that's a question. If they do the proper copyrighted process, it can be taken as a copyrighted items. Of course, it will affect the IP. Like Microsoft, they are movement that anti-Microsoft, even in my field, it's computational fluid dynamics, the software, we have open source software who anti the commercial software. It will happen in any field, but there's a need to protect, there's a need to, because the need is for the inventor, because not all inventors have the capability to get involved in this open source, in this shareware, freeware, or whatnot, platform. Okay, due to several factors lah. So both worlds, I can say both platform can be used. Either you want to go for open source or freeware, or you can use a commercial, protected platform. Both are not wrong, in my opinion, and both can survive. Okay, both can survive successfully. Okay.
Thank you very much, Prof. Kamarul. Well, I would like to give this an opportunity to Dr. Manraj, if you like to, synchronously interact with Prof. Kamarul, because we have another question here. Are you here, Dr. Manraj?
Hi, good afternoon, Prof. Yes, I do. Apologies, I can't share my video because my internet connection is not too strong. I have a question here. If I have an IP of a physical product and I want to convert this physical product into a digital environment, how would the IP process be and what would the challenges be? Thank you.
Okay, thank you. It depends. If you have a physical product, let's say you have a physical module, training module. Okay, you want to convert it into apps. Okay, you already have, let's say, copyright on that training module, hard copy, hardbound module. Now you want to convert it into apps. These apps, if it is you actually upgrading it, new version of your hardbound training module, you actually can file another copyright for your apps. Okay, provided that new training module or apps training module is different from the one from the physical product. First, secondly, it has an additional information. Okay, that benefits, that can solve whatever weaknesses in the physical product. Okay, because usually, you know, your first version may be when you produce your first version of your product, physical product, and then you take a look, then you see some weaknesses that you wish to improve. Okay, so when you convert it into digital version, I believe, and this has happened in many product here in UPM, they will upgrade and make it better. So when they upgrade it and make it better, there's an additional IP that we can file, which is copyright as well, different copyright. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prof.
Yep.
Thank you very much, Prof. Kamarul, for the response. Well, I would like to open the Q&A session to other participants, members of the screen. If any of you like to pose a question.
I would like to add another point where,
please, Prof.
Yeah, when we do research, okay, from the beginning, from the very beginning, even before you start anything, I would like to suggest to all of you to engage with two parties. Okay, first, the authority. Okay, who are the authority that actually govern whatever work or product that you actually want to produce? Okay, that's the first. Secondly, the end user, your potential customers. Okay, because those are the customers that they have problems and they want something that can solve their problem. They want something that can solve their problem, so that when you produce it, they want to use it and solve their problem. That is actually the commercial side of it. The authority, the first party that I ask you to engage, is because many products in this field, even in education, involve approval. Okay, for example, you want to produce let's say a teaching module. Perhaps you have to engage the educational ministry first, for example, so that the purpose is so that you are not infringing rules and law of that country first. Secondly, you are actually engaging with the authority, and they are actually managing the whole spectrum of this education environment. So they know whether your product is actually relevant or not relevant. Okay, because we don't want just to have to produce product or whatever system process that are not relevant to the end user or to the customers. So my advice is you must engage with these two parties. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Prof. Kamarul, for your advice. Well, if there is no further question from members of the screen, if I may ask one question, Prof.
Okay.
Well, reflecting on my experience during the presentation of defending the prototype, so what are the preparation needed to present the prototype during presentation to the panelists of PSP?
Yeah, okay, thank you. Actually, very relevant, it's very important questions. First, make it simple. Okay, the slide should be not more than 20 slides. Okay, usually people come with 40 slides, and the panels usually are not well versed in your field. Okay, so you make it simple. The first, you have to explain about the product. What is the novelty of that product? What is new about that product, and how can it solve today's problem? Okay, if you have that, that is suitable for like copyright, like utility innovation and whatnot. But for patent, there's another aspect, which is inventive steps. Okay, inventive steps is actually a step-by-step of a method that produce your product. And this inventive step must not be obvious to the people inside your field. As I said before, okay, it's not be obvious. Meaning that when you tell this is how you do it, they say, I didn't know that. That is actually worth of patent. Okay, so yeah, that's how. When you present that way, then the panel will certify and will approve it.
Okay. Right. Once again, thank you very much, Prof. Kamarul. Okay. So we have posted an online attendance link over the chat box. Feel free to sign in your attendance for a free e-certificate. Right. So, if there is no other questions from participants, I would like to once again convey our gratitudes and thanks to Professor Dr. Kamarul, the Director of Putra Science Park, for your time and willingness to share the most compelling, I would say, enculturing the process of patenting and copyrighting the prototypes. And I think this is a good culture that we can enrich in UPM. So on behalf of the Secretariat of the 5th i-PicTL2022, we would like to thanks to Prof. Kamarul and the rest of the participants for your time and spending with us today. So with that, I end this session with wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh, and have a good rest of the day. Thank you very much, Prof.
Okay, thank you. Bye-bye. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thanks, Prof. Assalamualaikum.
Welcome.